So I got this little set of service components here from M&P. I think it's always best to use a reputable supplier if you can, you know, something like M&P or Busters or OP oils, they're good. So changing the oil on the bike is a really simple job, anybody can do it. The bike's been warmed up so that the oil will drain out more easily, you know, it's thinner when it's warm. You just got to be careful with a hot bike, obviously, of you know, the pipes and things. You can burn yourself if you're not careful, and just have to go underneath it and take out the drain plug, change the filter down there. So I'll just go have a look at that. On this bike, a KZ750E, the sump plug is 17mm. I've got a drain plug just here, so you undo that. Obviously you've got to be ready with a bowl underneath that's going to catch at least 3.5 litres of oil, and there's a washer on there, copper washer or something like that, which you should check for wear, and you can reuse them sometimes. For the price of a copper washer, you might as well change it if you've got it when you do it back up. So you drain it down, leave it for a few minutes to make sure it's all drained down, and stick this sump plug back in. And then you go over to the filter, if you're changing the filter, which on this bike is here, and you undo this bolt here. It's quite a long bolt that comes out, and then this circular plate here comes away and the filter sits in it, and it's full of oil again, so you've got to be ready to catch the oil that comes out there. So I've got a decent bowl in place to catch the oil, and now we're going to crack the sump plug. Alright, so now all the oil is drained down, we've got to take the filter out, which is under that housing just there. Well, very important, don't forget to put the sump plug back in. I've cleaned up the sump plug, looks okay, and while we're letting it drain down, time for a cup of tea. So now we've got the filter out, you can just have a look at the state of it and check that this O-ring here around the bottom is in good order. Just another little thing, in the Kawasaki manual I've got, it says there's a plain washer that sits on here, but there wasn't when I took it apart, so I'll have to have a think about whether I have a hunt around for one to put on there, or whether I put it back together how it came off the bike. So in the filter box here you do get 2 new seals and obviously a new filter. This filter comes off like that, and there's a spring and a kind of cup, hang on, I'm trying to show you, like this, and then you check this seal for its integrity, and there's a seal also just here on this shaft, and both of those are in the filter kit like I just showed you. When you fit a new ring, you oil the rings when you fit them, and the replacement is just the reversal of the removal. Okay, so the sump plug is back in, and the oil filter housing and tied up to the correct torque settings, which I'll try and put a note in the description, but the drain plug is 27 foot-pounds and the oil filter housing is 14.5 foot-pounds, and then you just refill. Once you make sure they're done up underneath, you refill up here like this, then away we go in there with it's be about 3 to 3.5 litres of oil. Keep an eye on the sight glass, which on this bike is out of sight of this camera. It's on the stand at the moment on the tripod, but it's just down there. Keep an eye on that, and when you've put about 3 litres in, put the cap back on the oil filler, start the bike and just run it for a minute or two, then let it settle, and then once it's settled, there's actually high and low marks. I don't know if you can see them, but there are just tiny little marks here, high and low marks, and you want the oil level sort of in the middle of this sight glass. Anyhow, that's how we change the oil on my Kawasaki, and hope it helps. Happy riding.